Hello, everyone. Thanks for being here, and I'm really excited to kick off this panel discussion tonight. Whether you've been like working with AI for years or you're just starting to be curious what it can do, this is the right place for you. Because tonight we are so honored to have an incredible panel of speakers who are not just thinking about AI, but actively shaping where it's headed. So as you already know, this is Mr. Erkang Zheng. He's a successful entrepreneur, also an expert in AI and security. And we also have Professor Paul Liu. He is the Director of International Affairs and the professor from NC State University. And last but not least, we have our Mr. Yi Li. He is our co-founder and the Executive Director at RTAI. Without further ado, let's start our discussion. So the first two questions are for Mr. Zheng. Do you think AI security research is keeping pace with the rapid advancement in AI innovation? In other words, do you think our current protective measures or regulations evolving quickly enough to address emerging threats?
There's a lot to unpack in that, right? So AI and cybersecurity probably are the two hottest topics from an industry perspective, right? So from a VC investment standpoint, that those two domains has been the hottest, right? So in the past 5 years or so, and I think there's a lot of new technologies that I'm seeing coming out that are related to both AI and cybersecurity. I actually think that there are more of the cybersecurity products using AI than the other way around. Right. So if you look at the investments and the products coming out recently in the past couple of years, more of those are security companies like my company JupiterOne, right? So that are using AI to build better security products. Now, I think it's very early days, similar to cloud and other new technologies. And there's a lot of things that we don't understand. We're rushing to adopt it. We're rushing to use it. I think there should be more that we can do in the cybersecurity of AI itself, right? So there's still a lot of unknowns. Now, on the other hand, I actually think there's a lot of good advancements, right? So if you think about the early days of Gen AI, there's a lot of hallucination, there's a lot of jailbreaking, that type of things. And you hardly see those anymore, right? So the improvements are pretty rapid, right? But that's not to say that there's no risk. There's new technologies coming out all the time. There's MCP, the Model Context Protocol. There's A2A that Google just released. And those are very new. And the security implications are not quite being understood by those new protocols.
That's certainly a lot of information in the last 2 minutes. So the second question is, what advice would you give to entrepreneurs venturing into AI? And what are the challenges should they anticipate? And how can they best position themselves for success in this rapidly evolving field?
That's a very interesting one. Okay, I think, by the way, I'm actually starting a new AI company in addition to JupiterOne, my previous company. And it is actually a pretty challenging one right now to start to build startups. Now, a lot of the startups are focused on deep science, right? So like the research that we see today, right? So a lot of those are very, very deep science, and there's big large language models that are coming out, right? So improvements of those, and you see updates and news of these fundings that are tremendous amount of money poured into AI, right? So that was the hottest area for investment the past year or so. Now, on the flip side, building applications on AI has becoming so easy, right? And you can have AI write products and software. And previously, building cloud-based applications is already pretty simple. And it doesn't take years anymore. It just takes months to build a new product. And now a lot of products are being built in weeks, if not days, right? So I think that for new entrepreneurs trying to build a new product, new company, we have to figure out what is the specific pain point, right? So that you're addressing. and it's very difficult to compete in building deep tech, right? Then what is the specific pain point? Now, even though that AI is pretty easy for people to use and adopt, right? But most people don't know how to use it. And just writing prompts correctly is not common knowledge, right? And that's just the fact, right? And think about a specific use case and build experiences that are tailored to that use case with the right data, with the right automation, right? So things that common people don't know how to do, right? So don't think about this more as an engineer, what you could or could not do, but think about regular people that they don't truly understand how AI works and what solutions can you build to help specific pain points for all the people.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll have a lot of audience that are interested in this related topic, but due to the tight schedule, so we cannot take more questions from Mr. Zheng, and but he will be staying for the social after. So if you have questions, feel free to ask him.
Of course.
Next, our speaker is Professor Liu. So the first question for you is, how has your unique background and expertise influenced your perspective on AI adoption? Are there specific experience or insights that have shaped the way you approach AI?
Thank you, Ruiwen. Thank you for the invitation. So as many of my friends or colleagues know, my background actually is geology. And I'm a marine geologist. And how come a marine geologist become a AI or large language model teacher? So that's the very interesting question. 26 years ago, actually, when I was a PhD student, because my background is geology, I thought, gosh, I cannot get a job after I graduate. So like many Chinese students, as you know, we rushed to the computer science to take some course. So did I. So I take some C, Java, that kind of Visual Basic back that time. So I know coding. I also take Oracle DBA, many people Oracle database administration. So I get a certificate and also get a job before I graduate. So, but somehow I still managed to get a PhD, and there's a job come out NC State. I applied, I get the job. So I lost the opportunity to become an entrepreneur or Google job, and now I become a professor. So, but somehow that's the background, a little bit background. I know how to coding, and I managed to learn how to use Python because with the C and Java background. And I also managed the online database with MySQL, all that kind of stuff. But this is just a side hobby, personal hobby. That's the thing really during the pandemic. Everything have a double edge during pandemic. So I really want to learn some new skill. And one thing is because that time Transformer come out. When Transformer come out, the GTP2 began to open source the architecture. So I said, this is fantastic. Could we use the GTP2 to help a student to improve their grammar and the writing, because so many international students I deal with. And so I began to say, can we train the GTP2 model, help a student to correct their English writing? This is my goal. So I began to search online. Back that time, 5 years ago, there are not so many resources teach you how to train a large language model. And I have a teacher back to China. His daughter graduated from Zhejiang University, and get his PhD from Purdue. And she is working at Google AI lab, and somehow with the Fifi Li. I said, gosh, that's a great resources. I should ask her, help me. But, they don't want to help a dumber. I don't have experience. Only thing she told me, look at Hugging Face. Back at that time, I have no idea what the Hugging Face about. And so I went to Hugging Face, I take a look, and starting there, I spent many nights, download a simple model at that. I begin to training the GTP2 and get the model works. That's 5 years ago. Then 3 years ago, 2.5, kind of 2.5 years, when the ChatGPT come out, the story come from, actually, I have to appreciate, thanks Dr. He. We have a launch 2 years ago, 2003, in June, sometime before the summer. And he told me, I said, Paul, National Weather Service have an AI component. you can ask her, how about the weather in Boston? And then you can just, you don't need to type, do not click, just ask. Then the weather information showed up. Can we do some similar thing on the ocean? That's really stirring up. I said, we can try. Because back that time, he knew I can train the GPT-2. But, that's far away from today. And so that's the really starting point. And since then, almost every day, I spend 1 or 2 hours on the AI technology. I'm kind of a self-driving and self-learning. And then we try to work on Ocean AI and Ocean GTP. And since we haven't published the product, I cannot really show to you. But the function is kind of smart, like ocean knowledge, not only the text part, graphic, dynamic, structured data, there's many things. Hopefully, maybe our next meeting, Dr. can give you a demo of what we are working on. So that's my little bit background. But anyway, let me just wrap up because I'm working on that. And I give also 5 minutes talk 2 years ago in the university research symposium. After many people learn, I can train the large language model, fine-tune the large language model, create a small one. Then Data Science Academy talked to me. So nobody teaching large language model across the campus. Can you give a try? I said, I can. So last fall semester, I give a first course called General AI for Science, how you use your own data large language model. Many students here took my course. And then thanks to this organization, I give a couple seminar and also give a first community large language model AI training workshop last December. Many of you attended that workshop. That's the kind of the way the geologists become a kind of AI large language model teacher. So, okay, thank you very much.
Yeah, I personally attended this December workshop, and I can be the witness how amazing instructor you are. If nobody tells me, I will assume you are a professor from computer science, actually.
No, really. No.
So the next question, actually, you already mentioned. So could you give us a brief answer for the second one? So as a professor with expertise in AI, how would you advise your students to prepare for the new era?
Okay, that's a very good question, because this is a very quick evolving world. It's changing so rapidly. Even 5 years ago, if you get a degree from computer science, that's no brain. You get a job of 150,000, 200,000 job immediately. But now this year, as you know, many even computer science graduate students cannot find an intern. So even including my kids, and it's a big challenge for the student. And also government cutting, NOAA cutting, NASA cutting. So many jobs. It's very challenge. But challenge is also opportunity. And for example, last December, besides the community training workshop, I also gave a 2 days training in the NC State Bioinformatics Research Center. So after that training, one thing I ask every student do, update your CV. So every student add a new paragraph on their CV. What did they learn from this AI training workshop? Like they know how to do a RAG, how to agentic RAG, how to do fine-tune a model, how to create a new model, how to do, there's so many things we talk about, and they put their CV. So the good news, 2 of them, and they told me some agent or some, I don't know what, they call them, said after they see their CV, after see their LinkedIn, he said, oh, you know how to train a large language model, you know how to create one, you know agentic RAG, so they get a job. So that's the one thing. If you are a student, if you are only 20s, so if this 50 years old spend 1 or 2 hours a day to catch up a new technology, there's no reason you cannot. So I had to embrace the challenge. Then challenge means opportunity. Don't be afraid, looking forward. Yeah.
Thank you so much. And again, due to the time constraint, we can move on to the third panelist. And Okay. Our first question is, as we move toward AGI, which intermediate benchmarks or capabilities do you think consider the most critical indicators, and what timeline do you find realistic for achieving those capabilities?
Wow, this is really a wide topic, and it's definitely one of those questions everyone has their own answers. Why? Because considering human intelligence is very, very specialized, and even what I mean is I'm really good at math, but may not be good at social. But someone else really, they are the superstar in the party, but cannot pass the exam. So human can do this, but we expect one AI model can do everything. But we are human. This is our big dream. We want to get to there. And for me, in my opinion, AGI, as the name mentioned, is artificial general intelligence. It's not really just one technology solution. For me, it's really a reflection how each individual think about intelligence. So in my opinion, I think AGI is kind of like one type of AI which can do everything. Like they can help my fourth grade kids learn the math very beginning, and then later help my wife prepare the dinner based on what I have in the refrigerator, and later help me to fix my car because I really dumb at that. And so together is for me is like a two big milestones. We have achieved a lot of milestones, like Professor you mentioned, like ChatGPT. We have a lot of entrepreneurs make AI better and better every day. But one of the milestone I expect is they call meta learning. It's kind of like AI can learn new tasks very quick with very little data. For example, to train a model to recognize a cat, couple years back, AlexNet required tens of thousands of pictures of the cat. And now if you want to build a model based on knowledge transfer, maybe 200 to 500 photos, you can do it. But my 1-year daughter only needs one photo. They know this is a cat. They ask me twice, hey, Dad, is that a cat? I say, yes. Then she knows cat. She won't miss it anymore. So what I expect is meta learning is AI model can learn as human, can learn the new technology. Because right now AI model like LM is still statistic pattern, but the human that we learn as a symbolic logic thinking, like abstraction. This is what I expect from AI, the significant milestone toward to AGI. The second one is a knowledge transfer, like the wisdom from the art of war. It's not just talking about the war, but you can use in the business. We have a lot of successful business person here. You can use it in the business. You can use this in your daily life. But can AI do this? Right. So this is kind of like a two significant milestone I'm thinking for the next step toward AGI. And for timeline, I'm not that really optimistic because I think we're still missing some real key technology there. But in my thinking is maybe a decade, but I could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong. And as you can see, every day we have a new technology come out. Maybe one day there's a neural symbolic AI come out, and then just to make AI can think themselves.
Thanks. And the second question is even more tough to my point of view. We always save the toughest question to the last speaker. So beyond large language models, which AI-driven domain, for example, robotics, computer vision, personalized medicine, auto-driving vehicles, etc., as you predict, will see the biggest breakthrough in this year, 2025?
Yeah, it's a really tough question. I have to admit that because in AI world, you never know what comes out tomorrow. And like Professor Liu just mentioned, like you have a ChatGPT 2 3 years ago, but right now ChatGPT 4 is there. It can take a lot of new features. And like Mr. Zheng talk about is all the new technology, new AI application. You can build it really quick every day. So I won't. If you're okay, I won't expect. I won't predict anything, but I won't share my expectations. So maybe the first one I want to say is personal medicine or personal healthcare. The reason is the first one, we have a lot of data from not only from history, but nowadays you have wearable devices. You have all those digital devices in clinics, now even the big hospital. So you have all those data. And also we have, I think the government, the FDA released I won't say very perfect, but they fast track the AI usage in the personal medicine. Right? And another thing is the demand, because you can, if you go to the hospital, it's overcrowded. Especially for me, I'm from the New York, New Jersey area. It's very crowded, and also everyone expect and they really deserve to have a really quick and accurate diagnostic. So that's what I expect to have for this year. And the second one is the autonomous self-driving. The reason is the Tesla, they're going to start robot taxi, but the really excited for, not only I'm a big fan of Tesla, but the most excited thing is they're going to start using unsupervised self-driving. It's kind of like nobody tell the car how to drive, they learn from themselves. In Dallas this summer, so that's really excited and what I expect. And another thing is China. A lot of electronic car companies in China, they put a lot of AI there. They collect a lot of data. They make it better and better. So that's another thing I expected. And the last thing is robotic. I expect to be used in manufacturing or warehouse a lot. It's going to be a hidden part in my expectation. Yeah.
Thank you so much. And let's give another warm round of applause to all our speakers today. And please stay if you have some discussion to do with them. Thank you so much.